Hey everyone, Charles here. And first of all, thank you for stopping by my podcast. If this show inspires you, makes you think, or gives you that courage to jump into action, please help by donating to this show. Click the link in the description and donate. Your donation helps us with production and finding great guests moving forward. Thank you and enjoy.
Amazon is offering sign-on bonuses up to $1,000, plus get up to $20 an hour for select roles. The best part? We're hiring near you. So start now to take home something greater. New, higher wages with a sign-on bonus, a range of real benefits, and career growth opportunities in a top-rated workplace. So earn more and see how great pay and sign-on bonuses can lead to a greater life for you. Go to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Charles here, and welcome to another great show on the Jump Podcast. Now, if this is your first time, thank you for listening. The show is all about me finding interesting guests around the world, find out what they're doing, what they've been up to. I believe everybody has a story, and I think this story will inspire you. And that's what I want to do. I want to inspire you to take that chance and jump. Stay tuned. Let's go.
You know you should be doing something different, right? Hey, I'm talking to you. Do you believe that you have the gift for greatness or have a special talent, but don't have the courage to take that next step? Always wondering how others made it look so easy? Well, welcome to Jump, the show that will bring you special guests just like you and me. How did they get the courage to jump into greatness? Doing what they love and living the good life. So, get ready to jump with your host, Charles Matthews Jr.
Yes. How are you doing? And I'm really excited to talk to my next guest. Checking out his bio, seeing what he's done. He's done a lot of great things, but I think the most thing I'm more excited to hear is the story. I want to hear the story, how everything got started. So let's not keep him waiting. Let's not keep you waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kuda. How you doing, my friend?
Thank you so much. I'm doing wonderful. I feel blessed to be alive, and I'm honored to be on your show.
Well, listen, I checked out your bio. You're doing some great things. But before we tell everybody what's up with you, who are you? Let's get some background. Where are you born? Where are you from?
I'm from the motherland, right next to Wakanda. That's where I'm from. I'm from Zimbabwe. I was born and raised in Harare, so it's in Southern Africa, right next to South Africa. For those of you who struggle with a little bit of the geography, but it's a nice, beautiful country, and has one of the 8 wonders of the world, which is Victoria Falls.
So then growing up, what did you want to be? Like, having fun, joking around. But at one point when you're a young man growing up, did you say, oh, I wanted to be this?
Yeah, I wanted to be many things. I wanted to be a businessman, and I also wanted to be a pilot. I think those were the 2 consistent dreams that I had. And when I actually came to college in the US, I actually double majored in aviation and business. So, those were my dreams. And, I knew that flying was going to be something I would do recreationally, but really entrepreneurship was really going to be the bread and butter.
So you're telling me if we need to fly back somewhere, you got me then?
It depends on what plane, right?
Listen, I trust you. So, you pick the plane. We got this, right?
Yeah. So I still have a little bit of ways to go to get certification on the jets and things like that. I did the program, but I never fully finished it. But I know a little bit more than the average person. So I think if it's you and me, I probably have a better shot in the cockpit than you.
Listen, as long as I got my backpack going and we're ready to jump, then that's all that matters. So tell us about your story. How did this entrepreneur start?
Well, it really started out of necessity, right? They say necessity is the mother of invention. So when I was 9 years old, I had a need, and that need was ice cream. I went to my mom and I said, "Hey, can you give me $1 for an ice cream?" And I had been naughty that morning, so she wanted to discipline me, and she said no. And for me, it bothered me a lot because in my mind, I'm like, how can one person dictate my ice cream destiny? And I decided to do something about it. And the quickest thing I could think about was like, hey, let me just go to my neighbor and see if I can clean their windows because they were pretty dirty. And she said, yeah. And I, cleaned the windows, made $5. The next day, went to another neighbor, made another $5. And I'm like, wow, I could really do this, But I hated cleaning windows. So I went to a couple of my friends and I'm like, hey, I'll do the selling, you do the cleaning. Let's form a partnership. And they were like, yeah, because they didn't have any money. They wanted ice cream too. So we started our small little business and spent the entire summer doing that. I think we probably cleaned like 25 houses, So that was the business I started. And, I got hooked because I found how liberating entrepreneurship is, right? You give value to the marketplace and the marketplace rewards you. And, now I had my own little bank account with money that I could do whatever I wanted to do with.
So here's the main question everybody's asking right now. I could see everybody saying, Charles, ask him the question. So I'm going to ask you, what flavor was the ice cream that you wanted so bad?
It was actually a Ninja Turtle ice cream. Michelangelo, they had this Ninja Turtle ice cream back in the days. I don't know if they had them in America, but they had them in Zimbabwe. And I obviously used to watch, the Ninja Turtles on TV. So that was kind of like my go-to. And it was blue, if I remember correctly. And it kind of tasted like, bubblegum flavor. But on a hot summer day in sub-Saharan Africa, those would go go down really smooth, So that was my thing.
So from your mom telling you no to the ice cream, you became an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's how it happened. I wish I had a more interesting story to share, but it literally was the inspiration that got me into entrepreneurship.
And have you ever sat down with her and talked about that story?
We have when I was younger, but not like in recent times. But, obviously when I was growing up, it became a thing because she would complain because I used her cleaning supplies to start the business and I didn't, okay. I didn't ask her for them. So now we would get into this conversation of like, well, you actually have to pay me for the supplies. You were going around cleaning people's windows with on my expense, right? So, she kind of chuckles about that. But other than that, I think she was proud that I actually did that.
Okay. So then how did growing up doing that turn into what you're doing now?
Yeah, I think it's kind of if you think about when you lay a seed, right? You lay a seed, you give it time, it grows. So for me, that experience showed me what could be done. A lot of people sometimes might have an idea and they don't want to move forward because they didn't have the experience of what, entrepreneurship could really do. And doing it at such an early stage enabled me to overcome a lot of fears, right? A lot of people have self-doubt around starting a business, but because I started it so young and, I was able to kind of see hey, you can be resourceful and made it work. I think it enabled me not to be afraid when I wanted to start my second business. Because a lot of people at times, they look at the resources or the lack thereof, right? And when you look at your bank account and you have this business idea, but you don't have any money in the bank, you might actually stop pursuing that because you're looking at the resources. But in business, you find even the best of the best, the Jeff Bezos of the world, they look beyond just the resources and look into being resourceful. So when I was in college, and now this is when I was in America, when I was in uni, I decided to start my second business, which was a clothing line, an Afrocentric clothing line. But when I looked into the bank account, I was a poor college student, probably at $150. And I needed to save that, for my toothpaste, phone calls and things like that. So I couldn't use that. So what I decided to do was become resourceful. So I went to the t-shirt manufacturer and I said to him, listen, I have this idea. And I showed him my plan. And the plan was we were going to create a social conscious brand where we would donate 20% of the profits to educate kids in Africa. Because having grown up in Zimbabwe, I had seen firsthand the struggles that a lot of children face in developing countries. And it really resonated with him. And my pitch to him was, hey, print this first batch of shirts and give me 30 days to pay. Because I don't have the resources, but I have the passion, I have the drive, and all the other ingredients to make it happen. But if you believe in me, for you, it's something really, really small, right? It's like $1,000 order. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's life-changing. And I don't know if it was the pitch or if he felt pity, to say like, oh, this poor African college student. But he said yes, and that's all I needed. And on day 28, I was back in his office with his check. I had sold enough t-shirts to pay him. And that's how we got the business started. So again, back to my story around, don't really look always at the resources. They are important, don't get me wrong, but there are certain things that you could do by being resourceful, getting a business partner, looking into ways where you can eliminate risk, doing a pre-launch campaign where you actually don't even have the product and you launch and you get the resources and you launch like a Kickstarter campaign and so forth and so forth. So there's so many different things that you could do to get started, but you just need to think beyond what you can see, right? And yeah.
So you don't know how giddy I am right now listening to you say all these things, because that's what the show is all about. Not taking action, jump. And you just said so many different ways that somebody can get started with no excuses. I think you touched down like 4 of them. So like I'm giddy trying to get all these down so we can talk about it. So let's talk about this one first. I want to talk about how you started as a young man. Can we touch on, don't you feel that we need to push more young teens, young people to do an open business first? Any type of business?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to talk about there, because I think number one, the education curriculum, the way it's set up right now, it's set up to teach people to be managers, to work for people. They don't necessarily teach you how to create. So I think for parents, it's really up to you to make sure you're not just relying on the education system, but you yourself are also providing extra curriculum activities to your children, i.e. teaching them how to start a business,
right?
Teaching them how to manage money, like all these different things that they just need to learn about. Because if you leave it for the marketplace to teach them, they're going to teach them things around consumerism and about working for others. So I think there's a lot there that people can learn, but we also live in a day and age where the information is accessible, right? If you go on YouTube, you can learn so many different skills for free.
Yes.
You just need your time.
Yes.
And you can then take action that way. So I think we live in an age where it really comes down to the person. Are you willing to, quote unquote, jump in order to dunk, right? And it all comes down to the individual as well as the people around them to help them get moving. But I do agree. I think a lot can be done to change people's mindsets.
Yeah, I always believe that we should be pushing our young people to learn about the value of being your own boss. I don't care if it's on the weekends, going out there and selling lemonade or doing something as your first job or writing a small book or doing something, but show them the value that they get from being their own boss and seeing that first money coming in from their product. How does that make them feel when they sell a product like what you did? How does that product make them feel? But let's go to the next level now. You talked about, okay, you don't have the money, but there's other ways to jump and get started. Like you said, there's other resources. You talked on finding a partnership. You talked about, other loans and you can do things. Let's touch on, working with others in the partnership. Let's talk about that.
Amazon is offering sign-on bonuses up to $1,000, plus get up to $20 an hour for select roles. The best part? We're hiring near you. So start now to take home something greater. New, higher wages with a sign-on bonus, a range of real benefits, and career growth opportunities in a top-rated workplace. So earn more and see how great pay and sign-on bonuses can lead to a greater life for you. Go to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer. Amazon is offering sign-on bonuses up to $1,000, plus get up to $20 an hour for select roles. The best part? We're hiring near you. So start now to take home something greater. New, higher wages with a sign-on bonus, a range of real benefits, and career growth opportunities in a top-rated workplace. So earn more and see how great pay and sign-on bonuses can lead to a greater life for you. Go to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
That's a interesting one. Mainly because a partnership is a marriage. So basically you're saying like, hey, who is my business spouse? If you want to put it that way. But partnerships are essential because one thing I think everybody can agree is that we're not good at everything. We all have certain unique gifts that we're good at, right? So you need to find your yang for your yin, right? Because it's kind of like yin and yang. And sometimes it could be multiple partners and sometimes it could be one. But the whole thought process about finding a partner is to find someone who complements you in order for you to achieve the goal. So think about a team, right, that had just all point guards. So no centers, nothing else, just point guards, right? Like you won't really win a title because you just have one type of characteristic or personality within the team. When you're building a business, you need diverse thinking. You want people who assess risk differently, who see blind spots that you don't see, and who are good at other things. If math, for example, is your zone of genius, but you're not really into the operational stuff, then you're not really going to succeed because you need everything chiming in to make your business grow. So I think it's super important for you to just have, number one, self-awareness about your own strengths and all your own weaknesses, and then identify a partner who is equally yoked in terms of passion and desire and hunger, but has a skill set that you don't have, because now you become stronger. So then it's 1 + 1 = 11 versus 1 + 1 = 2.
I love that analogy for all the brothers out there. They got it automatically because you're right. Who's going to take the ball? You have 4-5 guards on the court. Who's going to take that shot? Who's going to dribble? Like, there's too many people doing the same thing. We need to open up our minds and bring other people in that have different ideas, that have a different way of thinking. So I do like that. Question that everybody's saying is they're scared. You touched on being, it's a scary thing to start. Talk about the fear of being your own boss.
Well, I actually write a lot about that in my book, The SPEAR Method, 5 Simple Steps to Balance Success and Fulfillment. So it all starts off with mindset. Mindset is everything. So if you think about your brain, right, your brain is wired for survival. That's what your brain is wired for, to just survive. Starting a business and doing all these other things, that's thriving. That's outside of the brain's comfort zone. So what you need to do is you need to come up with a process where you are becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? And in my book, I talk about a process that I call conscious risk-taking. So what conscious risk-taking is you consciously taking a risk when you know that, hey, this is risky, but then you do it. So I'm not talking about going on I-95 or driving on the highway and driving 200 miles per hour. That's, thoughtless risk-taking right there, because you could die, right? But what I'm talking about is that, let's say you're in the gym and you're working out and, your goal was to run 3 miles, and then you hit the 3-mile mark and you say, like, you know what, I'm going to go the extra mile, right? I'm going to consciously put my body in a state where I'm doing beyond what I had set out to do or outside of my comfort zone, because it's a muscle, right? So the more you build that resilience muscle over time, the less and less you become scared when you now face these quote unquote scary situations. And the thing about situations that make people scared, these are just things that you just frame up in your mind. Like, what are you being afraid of in business? Like, what's scary? Like, if you go and try and you fail, and then what, right? It's a learning experience. You just need to frame it in your mind that, hey, I've learned a lesson, versus to say like, oh, this is the end of the world, I'm never going to recover from this. No, a lot of the most successful people have failed the most times. And you look at the guy who invented the light bulb, right? He did 10,000 experiments, right? Before the light bulb came about. It's all about mindset. He just kept looking at it and saying like, hey, I found another way not to do it. He wasn't looking at it, say like, oh, I failed. So being able to just have that positive mindset will actually lead you to success. And you actually need to be comfortable with failing, because that's how you're going to learn what not to do. And then through trial and error, you then figure out what to do.
So I'm reading parts of your book, and it says, identify your why so you can have clarity and purpose to move forward.
Correct.
What's the why?
It's subjective. Your why is different than my why, right? Because we are all created with a different purpose, a different why for us to do on this earth, right? So for me, for example, my purpose or my why is to create businesses that enable me to make the impact that I want to make. The two things I'm really passionate about is education and hunger. So any business that I created with a mindset of like, hey, I want this business to be super successful, because then I will have the resources to go educate 1 million people and to go feed 1 million people. So that is my why. So any decision that I make, I use that why as the filter, right? Because a lot of people, what ends up happening is that they don't have a filter to help them say no. So if someone comes up with the next shiniest object idea, they say yes to it because they're just chasing money and whatever, and they don't have that thing that centers them and enables them to say like, hey, your purpose, your why is this. And it's different from everybody. And that's the beautiful thing about it, because then once you know it, it can set you in the right direction. So think about your life as a plane ride, right? And you're the captain pilot for your plane. And then you get into the cockpit and you don't know what destination you have to go to, right? You need to take that time in really thinking through and asking questions. What's my purpose? What's my why? What are the things that I love to do? What are the things that get me excited? And then once you know that, then you know your destination. And then once you know the destination, you can plan how to get to that destination, right? So that's why it's important for you to actually do that as the first step. So in the SPEAR method that I talk about in my book, that's the first stage, which is seek your why, seek your purpose. And then the second one is planning, followed by execution. Because if you seek your purpose, if you plan, but don't execute, then it doesn't help.
Doesn't fall into place.
Exactly. And I like to say that the three most important days in life are the day you're born, the day you find out your why, but each day you act on your why, because it's super important for you to be acting, right? Because that's how you're actually going to achieve your why. So you need to execute the plan.
So then is that why you say people have to get out their comfort zone? Do things that are not normally what they would do, because that's too easy. If you want to achieve greatness, you got to come out your comfort zone and try something new.
So let's use an experience that almost everybody has gone through, right? Learning how to walk. When you're a baby, it's outside of your comfort zone, right? Like if you're crawling, for you to walk, it's outside of your comfort zone. But the only way that individuals grow is by taking a risk and stepping outside of your comfort zone. So, the baby stands up and, they fall down, they stand up again, fall down, until walking becomes something that they become good at. So the only way you grow is by stepping outside of your comfort zone. So the magic happens outside of your comfort zone. When you're in your comfort zone, you're not growing. In fact, you're actually dying, because you have so much potential that you're just letting waste away, right? So you take LeBron James, for example, right? He has all this talent in the world. Imagine if he doesn't take himself outside the comfort zone when he goes to training, or outside the comfort zone when he's playing a game. He has the potential, he has the talent, he has everything to do it. But if he doesn't step outside his comfort zone to actually then do it, we won't have all these highlights that we see because he didn't actually grow into his potential.
He got comfortable. And when you get comfortable, you get stagnant.
Exactly. It's like water. Where you see a lot of mosquitoes and it's dirty and it's filthy, it's stagnant water. But water that's flowing is fresh. It has life, you know. So it's the same concept right there.
Okay, I like that. We need to be water, constant moving, fresh, new, be the new
flowing.
Yeah, always be that new spring. All right, well, you know something? It's time for me to get you out of your comfort zone, my friend. We're gonna play rapid fire. You ready?
Sure.
All right, let's go. Favorite song before you jump on stage?
All I do is win. DJ Khaled.
All right, if you had to cook a special meal, what are you cooking?
I honestly don't cook, so I would probably bake a cookie because I have a cookie company.
Yeah, there you go. Favorite sport?
Soccer.
Favorite TV show?
I don't watch TV, to be honest, unless if it's a soccer game.
Okay. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? The Kingdom, Jamie Foxx.
All right. What's your hidden talent?
My hidden talent? I guess I can dance.
There you go.
But I don't really show it. I'm a borderline introvert, extrovert. So I try to hide certain things.
All right, so invite him to a wedding and see him brook out. That's what we're gonna do.
What I'll actually say is that I actually got people making it rain on me at a wedding when I actually decided to step outside of my comfort zone and show them my moves.
See,
so it actually did happen.
There you go. Get out your comfort zone and good things happen. All right, last one. You are going to meet a new client that wants to, join force with you and buy some cookies. All right. But they said, let's go to karaoke. They bring you to karaoke and you have to impress them. What song are you going to sing on karaoke on stage?
Well, to be honest, I'll first kind of get a sense of who they are and fill them out, right? Because you have to build rapport. But I'll obviously go to a song that I'm really good at, a song that I know lyrics to. So I'll probably go with, something by Notorious B.I.G. So maybe Hypnotize.
Oh, see, there we go. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. And don't go nowhere because maybe I'll get him to sing a couple of lyrics when we get back. Stay tuned.
Do you want to achieve your dreams and ambitions? Hi, I'm Carlene Grant, and I'm a life coach. A life coach is great if you want to achieve something more in your life. If you're ready to move forward, launch into something greater, and live your life of excellence. Let me help you get there. You've got this. I'm Carlene, and I'm ready to be your life coach. You can call me at 647-746-7243 or Carlene@OntarioEnrichmentCC.com.
Members of Local 79 who work for Bridgepoint Toronto Community Housing and the City of Toronto. My name is Lima Young, running independently in the elections as your Vice President Equity. As a strong, passionate, dedicated leader that continues to advocate for the members for this local since 2009. Check out my Facebook page, Zed Young, space, the soul of the local. Vote Zalima Young, Vice President Equity.
Hey, it's okay if you're driving or too busy to take notes. Charles has your parachute packed with all the info you need to jump into success. Check out the links section for all the tools you need to land safe. Now, let's keep falling with Charles and his special guest.
Yes, we are live back with my special guest. And please reintroduce yourself, sir.
I am Kuda Biza, the African Dream.
There you go. Now let's talk about your business, because now we kept talking about the cookies, and now I'm getting hungry. So let's talk about your business. Tell us more about it. How can we get involved, and tell us where you're located?
Yeah, so Nonbelievable, it's a mission-based cookie company. So for every cookie that we sell, we donate a meal to people in need through our partner soup kitchen. So it's really a one-for-one model. So there's nothing more beautiful than when you're eating a cookie, someone is having a meal. So you can buy us at nonbelievable.com. So it's NUNBELIEVABLE.com. And again, it's a one-for-one model. And we're based in New York. Our cookies are baked in California, but we ship all across the US, and hopefully pretty soon we'll be in Canada and the rest of the world.
So I love that concept. So when you're eating, someone else is eating.
Yeah, I mean, what's more simple than that, right? When you eat, you're also feeding someone. So it's a very interesting model that we've created. But we really realize that there's a big hunger issue in the US. And, you can't really leave it for government, and you also can't just leave it for nonprofits. Everybody has to be a part of this. So we wanted to create a platform where, us as entrepreneurs, plus our customers and retailers can all join in and make a difference.
So then how can we, as an outside people, help you? What can we do to help? Hunger is... we think about, people on the street, but sometimes people that are hungry are not on the street. There could be somebody, your coworker, sitting beside you. It could be little kids, classmates, or little kids sitting there and not knowing when you see them, they haven't had a meal in 2 days. They didn't have breakfast or lunch. Hunger is not visual. You don't see somebody and go, yeah, he must be hungry, or he doesn't have no food.
Well, it depends with the type of hunger, because then there are some cases where you become so skinny that it becomes visual. But I do get your point. There are many ways you can help. You could do a food drive, for example, right? And go donate the food to the soup kitchens. You can support brands like Nonbelievable, who have a social impact. So when you buy our products, we're also donating. So that's another way you can help. You can volunteer with your time. A lot of these soup kitchens need people to come and help serve the guests. So, if you have time and you want to go out there and really be on the front lines, I know it's a little bit difficult with COVID right now, but that's something else you could do. So I would say those are the top 3 things that people could do. Obviously, a food drive, go volunteer, or buy products that have a social mission addressing hunger like Nonbelievable. Those are the 3 easy ways that I would encourage people to do.
All right.
And then the last one, which is a bonus one, is you can actually make a meal and then give it to someone in need.
Yeah, it's all about helping each other. So my last question before I let you go, my friend, is if you can go back to that younger you, trying to make that first money, what would you tell yourself?
Dream big. As simple as that. We are, to a large extent, a result of the dreams that we set for ourselves. I wouldn't be in America if I hadn't set that dream that I want to be here, right? I would have been probably okay with just being in Zimbabwe and doing what I was doing. But because I had a dream, it pushed me to do things that I probably wouldn't have done otherwise. So I would tell my younger self that, hey, instead of dreaming of feeding 1 million people, dream about feeding 1 billion people, right? Because then you start thinking of things that are probably things that you're not thinking about right now because you've dreamt big. So that would be it.
Listen, my friend, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on my show. You've sent out great messages to everybody that there's nothing that can stop you. All right. And before we go, tell everybody where they can get your book.
So you can get my book, The Spear Method, on www.spearmethod.com. So spearmethod.com is the website you can get my book. So you can connect with me. You can learn more about the work that I do, and you can also buy the book.
All right. And it's going to be in the link in the description. My friend, thank you so much. And before I let you go, any shout outs, anybody you want to say hi to that might be listening?
Mommy and Daddy, I made it. Love you to my wife.
I was waiting for somebody to do that. Thank you, my friend.
All right, take care.
Thank you for listening. If you liked the show or have a comment, we would love to hear from you. Join our mailing list, and as always, check out our special deals links below. I hope this has inspired you to look at your life and jump. See you next week.
Amazon is offering sign-on bonuses up to $1,000, plus get up to $20 an hour for select roles. The best part? We're hiring near you. So start now to take home something greater. New, higher wages with a sign-on bonus, a range of real benefits, and career growth opportunities in a top-rated workplace. So earn more and see how great pay and sign-on bonuses can lead to a greater life for you. Go to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer. Amazon is offering sign-on bonuses up to $1,000, plus get up to $20 an hour for select roles. The best part? We're hiring near you. So start now to take home something greater. New, higher wages with a sign-on bonus, a range of real benefits, and career growth opportunities in a top-rated workplace. So earn more and see how great pay and sign-on bonuses can lead to a greater life for you. Go to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, hope you had a great time listening to the show. If you think I did a great job, please buy me a coffee. I still got a lot of work to do. We would love to hear from you, your feedback, so please click the link and leave us a review. You can help us grow by following us on all social media platforms and sharing this link. Once again, it's time for you to jump. Success is waiting.